A recent meeting involving the top obesity scientists failed to agree on what the cause of obesity is. This is a crisis. If you consider that now 40% of the population is considered obese, 75% or more are overweight, and this is costing about $175 billion. Now, although the scientists do not agree on what causes it, they do agree on what doesn't cause obesity. And number one is it is not personal failing. The scientists do not believe, as an example, that all of a sudden in 1980, which really marks the beginning of the obesity explosion, that people just all of a sudden lost all willpower. And in addition, number two, although there are many genes that have been studied that do play a role in obesity, our genes have really not changed significantly since this, again, explosion in obesity. Now, finally, it is also agreed that it is not increased laziness, overeating that causes obesity. I'm Bonni London, and after discovering the solutions to my own weight and health struggles, it is my personal mission to provide you with simple, easy to implement strategies to maintain your preferred weight, your best health, and ultimately your best quality of life. What is the cause of obesity? And more importantly, what can you do? So in today's video, I am going to share with you some of the top theories that contribute to obesity and the action steps that you can take today before they figure this whole thing out. Number one, a scientist did present that one of the theories could be the dilution of protein in exchange for increasing amounts of carbohydrate and fat in the diet. So I guess when we are looking at, along with the obesity explosion, we have absolutely had increasingly amounts of these highly processed foods that are devoid of the essential nutrients such as protein, which contain essential amino acids, which, interestingly enough, signal the body that you are full. And this makes a lot of sense when we consider even what we do with cattle. One of the ways that we get cattle to gain weight is that we decrease the amount of protein in their feed so that they can gain weight and eat more. So the takeaway here, and something that I have mentioned quite a bit, is protein, protein, protein. Whether, any diet that you're on, even vegan, we can come up with high quality sources of protein to eat at all of our meals to keep us satiated. And I am talking definitely animal sources would be fantastic, such as beef, chicken, or fish, but you could use some tofu, tempeh, edamame, and combining also, the rice and beans, or doing some high quality protein shake could also help you reach that. And I think you are going to find that you naturally have a more controlled appetite without having to think about counting calories. Number two on the list, and again, kind of similar to number one with the dilution of protein, is these ultra processed foods. But there is absolutely something else going on here with the processed foods. First of all, it has all of these chemical flavors that mimic the natural flavors in nature. So it really makes you continue to crave it and want to eat it. But then ultimately, because you do not get the nutrients that are associated with that flavor, but also the nutrients that you need to feel satiated, that you continue to be hungry. And the other part of it is that some of these ultra processed foods, they're so easy to digest that they raise your blood sugar. And again, you're able to consume more and more. And something that has been discussed extensively is that the food industry have come up with what they call the bliss point, which is considered to be this perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that has never ever been seen by us in nature. And so when we taste these foods like the Cinnabon, just as an example, there are others, but the point is, as soon as you taste these foods or even smell them, forget it. It's like your taste buds and your brain has gone to Las Vegas with all the lights, and there is just no turning that baby off. Number 3 on the list, obesogens. This is one of my favorite topics. And obesogens refer to actually these toxins that are in our foods, and it's not just the highly processed foods, but surely there are more there that actually change the way your body utilizes those same calories, leading to slowing down your metabolism, increasing your appetite. And some examples that are so ubiquitous in our food supply would be BPA from all of the plastics, which interestingly was actually approved to be a hormone before they figured out how to put it in the plastics. But there certainly are a bunch of other toxins in there. And so I think this is really important because we are still just beginning to comprehend the synergistic effect of all of these compounds in our body. But certainly I can tell you that they have been associated not just with obesity, but also with every single chronic disease. And finally, number 4, just as important as some of these pleasure foods that we have been eating aimlessly, I would say, is the foods that we're not eating, which is something I'm always talking about, is instead of thinking about restricting everything, really focusing on the foods that you need to function properly. And the scientists do agree that we're not getting as much nutrients from high quality proteins, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. And when you look at the pie chart of what people are eating now, it's very small to think about whole foods from, again, vegetables, fruit, and even some portions of healthy fats such as avocado, olive oil. So I think a best way to approach this, I always like to say, is instead of thinking about, oh, I'm not going to eat XYZ, instead always trying to think about, okay, where is my protein, my portion of vegetables, or maybe some fruit and some healthy fat? Where is that in every meal? And then it's going to make the rest of this a lot easier decisions to make once you get those in. To summarize here, the answer to our obesity crisis can start with us to stop to blame ourselves, or worse, stop fat shaming yourself or others around you. Instead, you're trying to start by creating some new habits that really will support your personal goals and health goals, and try to get your friends and family on board with you, because your environmental influence, which is your social group, could be as important as any of the other factors that I just mentioned. Well, if you found this video helpful, I would love you to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share, comment, and tell me how you might use any of these suggestions yourself. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.